Okay, so as of now, it's been a little over a week, or a little under a week since the Guilty Gear Strive beta has ended, and I do want to record my thoughts as a pretty good Guilty Gear Exert player and how I feel about the game, and just how I felt during the beta and what I enjoyed and what I didn't enjoy about the beta. So first, I do want to get into the positives. Obviously, the biggest positive that was in the beta was the netcode. The netcode is it's genuinely phenomenal. It's the best netcode I've ever seen in a fighting game. I haven't experienced anything better than it in my entire life. It was even better than Skullgirl's netcode to me. I was able to play matches in Albania, in Japan, and play just fine. I could still do on reaction air throws. I was hitting dust loop. I was like, oh, dust loop. Okay, 5K. Dust loop and 200 ping. I could play the game competently. You know, sometimes it would roll back a little bit. So a move startup might be kind of hard to see, but it's very playable for casual matches, and I did not have any issues. I even thought Texas to Japan was playable for on competitive matches, in my opinion. I thought it was really, really good. So thank you Zynak for pushing for rollback for Strive over in the Arc System, or the Arc System Works offices in Japan. Thank you for that. Thank you Arxis for implementing it and working on it. It's very, very valuable, and this will make your game sell a lot, I promise you. I think this will be the best selling Guilty Gear game. Okay, next positive I also had was, even though the game is more simplified than Exerd and Axiom Core, characters still felt very unique. Now, obviously, less tools make some characters be less complex, but it's not like other fighting games where it's not like Dragon Ball, where I can basically play anybody because their combos. There's 3 different types of characters in Dragon Ball. There's the 2M characters, the 2M 5M characters. There's the 2H characters, and then there's weirdo characters. This game, every character has their own unique structure for combos. Even Soul Bad Guy and Kai. There's very unique things, even smaller things, down to the way that their Gatlings work. Soul gets a command normal that he can do from 5K, so he can do a kick and a slash, which is something that most characters can't do in this game. Just little things like that, I think, really make characters play differently. Ramlethal plays completely different. I think she did in Exer, but she also plays different than every other character in the entire game. She plays like no one else. She has her Rekka, she still has her little target combos. Leo isn't a Rekka character anymore, but he still plays pretty similarly. Yeah, but Tempian he still get in there, get the grab, you win. So I will say these characters do play very unique, and I'm very surprised because from the last beta, things kind of felt kind of similar, only because damage was just so high, and there's combo potential you had in the first beta just wasn't really there. Soul had optimal combos that were just Fafnir 4 times, and then you get a wall break and you Fafnir again because it just does the most damage. Now that stuff doesn't work anymore, and he has to do some other stuff to get maximum damage. Okay, another positive I had for the beta was, of course, the visuals. The PS4 version, which is what I played on. I played on base PS4 because I don't have a PS5 yet. It runs at 864p, but you literally cannot tell. It runs perfectly at 60 FPS. It looks gorgeous. There's so much going on in these backgrounds, and it's not distracting in a way. It's just it's beautiful. Character details, even down to how they emote with the way their moves work. It's literally so detailed. It's crazy how much work they put into this. And I think even more than Exerd, you can see a character's personality through how they use their moves, and that's I saw something I could say like for every character in Exert. Some characters just had like regular punches, which I think Exert is a gorgeous game, and there is a lot of personality. But even not the moves, but in Strive, like every animation the character has, it just has so much of the personality in it. Even like Soul's Run shows its attitude off. It's crazy. I'm like comparing Soul's Run to Kai's Run. It looks gorgeous. These characters really do emote. Okay, I think we can get on to the negatives now for me personally, and I do have a lot of negatives. So let's start like some of the smaller stuff. Music, not a fan of it. Guilty Gear Xrd has one of my favorite soundtracks in all of video games. I think it's a masterpiece in terms of like how the music is. It's also my personal favorite Guilty Gear soundtrack. And Strive doesn't really hold a candle to me. I think there's a few good songs, but none of them really work to me in the context of gameplay. I think Colors is the best song in the game, but like that doesn't work to me as a gameplay song. It reminds me of Frisia, which was a story mode song in Exrd. But yeah, another theme. The only other theme I found that was like okay to listen to during gameplay was Chip's theme, "Fly Like a Tiger." It has the Guilty Gear sound to it, even with the lyrics. The lyrics are very upbeat, positive. It works really well, I think. And that's about it. My least favorite theme was probably Giovanna's. Just doesn't sound very good to me. The worst theme in the game is probably Amelia, Sato theme, but that's not in the game yet. It makes me kind of sad that the music is not really what I like. Okay, on to a bigger issue I have. The game's Gatling System. It's not changed at all from the first beta, which I didn't expect it to. I did not think that they would ever change the Gatling System since they announced it, and they haven't, of course, but limiting you to doing punch to kicks and slashes to heavy slashes, it doesn't feel good to play to me. It doesn't feel beginner friendly. I think it's hypocritical. It adds unnecessary depth. I'd hesitate to even call it depth because it's really just adjustment, and it's not really in a fun way. Something I really enjoyed about Guilty Gear games, and especially when I was younger getting into Guilty Gear, I loved the Gatling System. Being able to punch, kick, slash, heavy slash, and have it just work, and it just having universal pressure strings, it made switching for the characters feel good, and just doing combos feel good. It felt good to just press these buttons and have things happen. It felt really, really good. That being gone in Strive doesn't really feel good to me, so I'm not really a fan of that at all. Even in the air, you can't air Gatling unless you unless you're in dust. If you hit a fully charged dust and you go upwards, that's when you get your regular air Gatlings back, and it feels like a regular Guilty Gear game. Another thing I don't enjoy about Strive was the jump cancel system. I did not enjoy how limiting jump cancels are, and like most characters don't even have like double jump combos. Amelia has double jump combos, Giovanna has double jump combos, Soul kind of has them, Kai kind of, but like it's not optimal. Your combos are not a focus anymore of Strive, even except for Mr. Amelia. Amelia has a focus on air combos. She kind of plays very similarly to how I'm used to Guilty Gear. So that was interesting. It just did not feel fun to me. Like I understood what they were going for with how strong air to airs were, and like just the way they want the air game to play out now, but it doesn't really work for me. I think the jump cancel system worked even less for me, mostly because you can air block anything. even grounded normals, you don't have to use FD anymore, which you previously had to use in other Guilty Gear games in order to air block grounded normals. So you can be completely safe while you're jumping, as long as you don't press a button, and that's weird. Kind of takes away the whole anti-air game, and it puts an artificial focus on air throws, and I don't really like that. Air throws are pretty strong though. It's weird. Not really a fan of it. Okay, next thing that I'm not really a fan of is the overall combo structure and wall break. It's kind of a weird point to make, but I don't really like the way the game's like general combo flow is. A lot of the time, what characters want to do is hit you in the air to make you fall, because this game has no air tech. So when you get a air move, like if you hit like a jump K and it hits them, they'll fall down like it's a multi-blood air counter hit. So you get to continue your combo on the ground. That's kind of like what they were going for. So you have like, you jump cancel, you hit them, they fall down, you do a ground combo. But it just feels so different and so limited compared to the usual combo structure of Guilty Gear games. It felt even more weird when I would go to play other characters like Faust or something, characters that have like less tools in general in order to be able to do those things. They ended up feeling very awkward, and I didn't really like how it played out. It just felt like a lot of these characters were just not built for this engine and this combo structure, and I wonder how they're going to change that. Like Faust in the first beta was like, to me, not even a character, and I still don't really see him as a character in this game, but he's better at it now, so he's better than it now. Another thing I had an issue with in the beta is, wall break. Let's get the wall break. Wall break, I'm not a fan of it. Okay, so the way the wall break works in this new beta build is, if you break the wall, you get a slight damage buff and you get a meter build bonus, allowing you to do more damage, and your meter will passively build just by doing nothing, which is good. And you can't get negative penalty during that, which is also cool. Also, wall break health, like the wall's health stays in between rounds, and it regenerates very slowly. Very slowly. So let's say you hit someone to the wall and they get the wall stick, and you choose to not let them break the wall. The next hit in the corner will wall stick them again, and will probably break the wall as well, just because of the way the wall's health works. That's very strange to me. I'm not really a fan of that. The game to me is like it's a mid-screen only fighting game. It's kind of how I described it. It's a really strong focus too, because when you play characters like Milia, she's only mid-screen. Like her mix only works mid-screen, and it's weird, very weird to say the least. Very weird. It felt really weird to see all that. Okay. What I also had an issue with in this beta was just how it's kind of a weird complaint to have, but it's how small the stages felt. It's a complaint I carry over from the beta, from the first beta, but stages are smaller in this drive, meaning there's less space and the camera is zoomed in more. So everything feels more claustrophobic, and it's mostly because the camera doesn't need to be as far back, because there's no need for it anymore, because air movement is so gutted and it's so telegraphed and it's so obvious. There's not really a need for the super zoomed out screen, because everything's really reactable. It feels so claustrophobic to me in a Guilty Gear game to have the camera this close up to the characters, and I'm not really a fan of that at all. It doesn't feel good to me having to deal with that. It just doesn't feel good. having to deal with this camera system along with like the way combos work. I kind of had camera issues in the first beta. Most of them are gone now. The camera would bug out a lot actually in the first beta, and that was a really weird thing. But it's mostly fixed now. This beta really was a huge improvement from the first game, from the first beta. Before then, I couldn't say that Strive was an objectively good game, but now I can't say it is. I can say the game is objectively good, and I think with the way it's gonna launch, I think it's gonna be worth $60. 15 unique characters, a story mode, rollback netcode, a good training mode. Training mode is really good, aside from no frame data. Tutorial modes that are really good and interactive. It's gonna Strive mode, arcade mode is gonna launch with a lot of content, and that's a huge good thing, you know. Unfortunately, with the way fighting games are currently, launching with not a lot of content is very common, and it's good that ArcSys is bucking that trend. So I'm a fan of that. I knew I never was going to like Strive as much as Exert or Daxentor because it's so different. It's not really made for me anymore, which is fine. And Exert is my favorite fighting game of all time. Like, no matter what, it was never gonna hold a candle to Exert to me. But it's doing a whole lot better of a job than I thought. And really, I don't think Strive is gonna be a game that I will take seriously ever. But it's a game that I think I will have fun with, and it's a game that people are absolutely loving right now. I think it's going to do very well for the Guilty Gear franchise. I hope not the future direction of the franchise, but I think with a few changes, maybe Strive could be a game I enjoy. These key changes that I think would really make the game feel better is more double jump combos, just in general. They don't have to be like necessarily optimal, but some of the anti-air routes from 5K felt a little bit weird when you're mid-screen. It felt just not good to me. I think bringing back Gatlings would really make the game feel a whole lot better to me, and make characters better universally. There's universal blast for everyone. I think that would be very good. Tone the damage down a little bit, and I think it's pretty okay. I had some very positive things. Like, I really enjoyed the RC system of the game. Using fast RC and the regular slowdown RC, it all felt really good. I found some very unique combo routes and pressure routes with it. It was really fun to experiment with all that. Like, it's a very fun system, and I kind of wish it was in Exert almost. I think it's more interesting than Exert's Roman mechanical system. It just was very unique and interesting. It felt really cool to use. Characters that I really enjoyed using in the beta I played everyone, but the characters that I stuck around with the most were Giovanna, Soul, and Nagaryuki. Nagaryuki was so much fun. Like, I cannot understate how fun that character was. He's so unique. I love his blood gauge meter. I think maybe giving him like 8 uses of it instead of 6 would be pretty. I think that wouldn't change too much. I think it'd be better, but yeah, like Nagaryuki felt like so fun. Characters with special cancels usually are characters I enjoy in fighting games, but yeah, like Nagaryuki felt great, man. And he looks cool too, and his voice is awesome. Strive's gonna have a dub, by the way. People.
Whoa! Get mixed. Okay.
I don't really know that, but it's gonna have an English dub when it launches. So Nagaryuki felt great. Giovanna was cool too. She's simple, but I like what she has. Just very cool. Cool character. I'm a big fan. After that, I was a fan of mostly just that stuff. The game performs great, looks great. If you're on PS5, it runs at native 4K 60, which is Like, no dynamic resolution, native 4K 60. It's really cool. It looks gorgeous, I'm telling you. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up. So, I'm a Exert player. I love that game. It's my favorite fighting game of all time. And I'm a huge fan of the Guilty Gear franchise in general. Strive is not my favorite game of all time. It's not really a game I like either. But I hesitate to call it a bad game. And I think it's going to do a lot of great things for the genre and the franchise. It's going to sell the best, hopefully. I'm a fan of it. So, thank you guys for listening to me ramble for about like 20 minutes about how I feel about Strive. And, yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. I'll see you guys soon with some more videos and also streams when I get around to them. So follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/JamesTrombone. And Twitter if you want to keep up with it. You want to keep up with me or whatever. You know, I barely use it. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time. This is James Trombone signing out. Goodbye.